Being a leader and standing up for what is right is what we love in history. So now, it's time for some fun facts about Dred Scott for kids. Okay, in history, like I said before, standing up for what is right is what we love about our heroes. So, I want to talk to you about an African-American hero in history named Dred Scott. You see, Dred Scott is famous in history for fighting for his freedom and taking his case all the way to the Supreme Court because he sued to get his freedom and wanted to be treated equally. Dred Scott was born in 1799, and like many other African Americans during this time, Dred Scott was born a slave and couldn't read or write. So a sad part about American history is also at this time, African Americans were treated as property. So in 1830, Dred Scott was sold to a man named Dr. John Emerson. The cool thing about Dr. John Emerson was he was a military doctor, so at least Dred got to travel the country with Dr. John Emerson and see things that other slaves couldn't see. Another cool thing about being with Dr. John Emerson was Dred Scott got married and had a family with 2 children. After they returned back to St. Louis in 1842, a year later, Dr. Emerson died, and his wife Irene sent the Scotts and their children to work for other families in St. Louis, which wasn't cool. Well, after that, Dred Scott said, "I ain't taking it no more." Not only did he sue for her treating him poorly, but he also sued for his freedom, saying that they had lived in Wisconsin and Illinois, and these were territories that didn't allow slavery, so he should have been set free. Okay. Now, the way court works is you can sue someone and lose or win, but there are different levels to the court system. Kind of like, you're playing a video game, different levels to the game. So you can go as high as the Supreme Court in the court system, and that's like going to the top level of a game, like the boss level, because once you go there, that decision is final. This is where Dred Scott ended up losing, although he won a couple of times earlier with his court case. In the end, although he lost his fight for freedom, many may look at it and think, that stinks. The Supreme Court said he would have to be a slave for the rest of his life. But check this out. Although Dred Scott didn't win his case in the Supreme Court, it set a fire around the country. That's right. People in the North heard about Dred Scott's situation, and they got mad and wanted to stand up. And people in the South, they got all crazy thinking slavery was cool, and they stood up wanting to keep slavery going. So this was one of those things that a lot of people say started problems with the North and the South, and in the end led to the Civil War, which ended slavery. Although Dred Scott lost his case in court, he set the tone for African Americans to stand up for their rights and later be free in America. So I hope you enjoyed those fun facts about Dred Scott.